Hello and welcome to another edition of Mind the Mind. Today we're talking about handling difficult emotions. It's going to be a very short segment today, and we won't be flogging too many issues. We'll just be going straight into the subject of handling difficult emotions. We know what emotions are already, so we're not going to go, flogging it. But for the benefit of those who may, want to know what the concept of emotions are, emotions are, our thoughts. It's a combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and every other thing that you feel in between. All right, emotions, we say, when we talk about the concept of emotions, we say emotions are energy in motion, like your whatever you feel, that also makes you feel something else. So your emotions are not supposed to be, just static, really. However, when you feel whatever it is that you feel, either positive or negative, it also makes you feel something else. So it's your emotions are like catalysts. Your emotions are beyond just just having something prick your skin. All right, emotions are energy in motion. So we've simply defined that, and then we move into what the types of emotions that we have. We say we have positive emotions and negative emotions. Yes, we don't usually say we have good or bad emotions, when we talk about emotions, but we say that emotions can either be positive or can either be negative. The reason is because there is no, we like to say that there is no bad emotion, and there's no, there's no emotion that is useless. Yes. All right. Because that seemingly bad emotion, okay, quote and unquote now, all right, can also be like a propeller. That's why we call them either positive emotions or negative emotions. So when you talk about, positive emotions, you talk about emotions that make you feel, more joy. When we talk about, if you checked out, some of our, the videos, the past videos from our Mind in Mind series, you find out that we've talked, extensively about the concept of negative or positive emotions, where we've talked about, attention broadening, we've talked about the broaden and build, emotions, and the broaden and build theory from the scholar, Barbara Fredrickson. And then when you look at all the scholars that have talked about extensively about the broaden and build theories, you find out that when you have positive emotions, it makes you want to do something else that is also positive. So, and then, so when you now talk about negative emotions, kind of contain themselves. And so it makes it look like the person is in a confinement. Whoever is feeling that negative emotion at that time is unable to feel, a wide array of different positive emotions, because the person is just, confined like that. So you find out that the scope of the emotions at that time that the person will be feeling will be limited, because there's nothing to broaden it. Like in the case of positive emotions, for example, when you're happy, you may want to probably, sing, you may want to do so many other things, you may want to feel, you may want to share, you may want to give, you may want to do so many other positive things, as opposed to when you feel sad or when you're angry, you just want to, do some other negative stuff that may be limited compared to the wide scope that positive emotions. So is that positive emotions have different siblings. Let me put it that way. Positive emotions have, so many siblings, while negative, emotions, have limited number of siblings, quote and unquote. So I hope that explains the concept of, positive and negative emotions, so that we can move into our subject, for today. Our subject for today is, we're talking about handling difficult emotions. When you're faced with difficult emotions, it could be anything. It could be it could be a point, a breaking point, or a point of like when you are in a valley of decision, or when you are at a place where you are like at a crossroad where you want to take some decisions, maybe concerning your work, concerning your career, concerning all your goals, concerning your health, concerning family, concerning every part of your life, concerning every dimension of your life. When you want to take probably the next step, you may be faced with some difficult emotions. It may not necessarily mean that those emotions you feel at that time, they may not necessarily be negative. But when you feel those difficult emotions, when it looks like, you're just stuck at that time, that feeling of being stuck may be like a difficult emotion, at that time, not necessarily, negative, but when you feel that, oh, you cannot just move from point A to point B, when you face that kind of difficult emotion, some of these steps that I'm sharing today have helped me, in time past. They're still helping me even up till now. And I know so many other people, within the tribe that, these steps have helped. So these steps are not necessarily, in the order, when the order that I'm sharing them are not necessarily probably the same order that you may apply them in. It's not supposed to be like an A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of thing, but just for the sake of, easy digestion, and for the sake of, order. That's why I put them into this order. So it means that you can use whatever step, at every point in time, depending on, the particular difficult emotion that you're facing at that time. So, but the first one I like to mention is when you accept the emotion that you're feeling. All right. Other school of thought may say when you are aware of that emotion you're feeling, are you able to pinpoint and identify and label that emotion that you're feeling? That's one question you should ask yourself. That's one question you should ask yourself. Are you able to say, oh, is this anger, or am I just having, anxious? Am I just having anxiety, or am I just worried, or am I angry? You should be able to label the particular emotion that you have. And then when you're aware of it, once you're aware of it, if you're not aware of why you feel the way you feel, that's going to be a difficult point, a difficult place to be in. But once you're aware of what you're feeling per time, it means that no emotion should just be running like if, just running freely or radically within your mind and affecting your body, spirit, and soul without you knowing what exactly is this thing that is affecting me. Am I just angry? Or what just happened? Or am I just anxious or worried about something? Am I afraid? Do I feel fear? Once you're able to once you're aware of that emotion and you're able to identify it, that's the next one. And then you're able to accept it, whatever it is that you feel. Don't deny the emotion. When you begin to live in that denial, you will not, get the best out of that emotion, because like I said earlier on, no emotion is useless. No emotion is bad. Okay. There may be some that have more negative effects than the others, but not one emotion. You can't say that there's one that is useless. All right. So, but accept whatever emotion, that you're feeling at that time. Don't deny it. If you're afraid, don't say that, oh, what I'm feeling is not fair, or what I'm feeling is just, oh, I'm just worried. No, don't deny that emotion. Acknowledge it, accept that it is there, because whatever it is that is not seen, whatever it is that you're not aware of, is something that you cannot tackle. It's something that you won't be able to, remove or take away. All right. But whatever is there that you already know that is there, that's the one you can work on. So once you are able to accept it, realize, the fact that emotions are fleeting. I mentioned in the definition of emotions earlier, when I said emotions are energy in motion. They don't stay. It may linger, yeah, if we want it to, but emotions are fleeting in nature if we allow them, okay? And emotions are not permanent. They are not, created to just be permanent. However, there's a way we can make sure that we zone them in so that we're in that zone, we're within that, positive vibe, zone every time. But because this is life and the way God has designed life, it means that at some point you would feel some highs, you would feel some lows. At some point you will experience some level of harmony. It's so that you can experience the joy that God himself will bring. Because by the time you're just probably joyous, every time without facing one difficulty or the other, then it means that you may not even, understand when someone else says that they are going through this or this or this stuff, and you may not be able to help them appropriately. So that's why, life happens. That's why so many things happen. And then you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to you? The question you should ask is probably, why not you? Because the point is that once you realize that if some emotions feel overwhelming, remember that it will pass. Once you realize that that emotion is not, even it may be there for a while, it will still realize that it will pass. And once you realize that part, okay, that's just another step. All right, make sure you ask yourself, you need to know the trigger. What triggered this way that I'm feeling? What triggered this emotion? The emotions don't just, pop up without having internal or external triggers. And triggers can either be, humanly, propelled, or maybe object propelled, or maybe it might even be triggered by weather or anything whatsoever. Just make sure that you're aware. Remember where we're coming from. You're aware of the emotions that you're feeling. You're aware and you're able to identify and label the emotions. You are able to accept whatever it is that you feel. It is a different ball game entirely when you want to, speak positively about whatever it is that you're feeling. Yeah, that we're coming to that point, but we're not saying that, oh, you should accept and then embody the difficulty and then embody it and claim all the negativity. No, we're talking about accept. We're talking about don't deny that you're feeling what you're feeling. Do not deny it, because once you deny it, then you won't even know that, you won't even see that there's a need to probably, get out of that negative zone. When you deny such emotions, you won't be able to know that there's a need to get out of that, negative zone. So once you don't deny it, don't deny the emotions, acknowledge and accept that they're there, okay? And then realize that emotions will not last, like that forever, especially the difficult ones now. All right. The positive ones, you have ways by which you can make sure that you're in that positive vibe zone. All right. However, make sure that these difficult emotions, just take note of that fact that emotions are fleeting. The feelings may be really, really overwhelming. Remember that it will definitely pass. And then ask yourself, what triggered this feeling? Why do I feel what I feel? Why do I, what just happened? Who said something? What did I see? Did I watch something? Did I look up something? Did I probably hear something? Did I think about something? Or did something happen to the atmosphere? And why do I feel this way? When you are able to identify the trigger, then it's easier to get out of that zone. Maybe then you'll be able to say, oh, because I was with so and so person, or because I listened to so and so music, or listened to so and so message, listen to, probably saw one negative vibe on social media, or saw something, or just maybe read something, you'll be able to know that this is what triggered it. And then you make sure that you try as much as possible. That's a very big step. You try as much as possible to make sure that that trigger is taken care of. You may want to take a break from whatever trigger it is, all right? But if you find out that your triggers, I say this a lot, if you find out that your triggers are like human triggers that you cannot move away from, maybe your trigger may be within your household, and of course you may not be able to, do away with your household, but you would find that's what, at that point we get to the next step, where you find coping mechanisms to help you. You may decide not to respond. You may decide not to react, and then you respond it instead. There's a difference, all right, between reacting and responding. Responding is when you take your time to assess the situation, even if it's a splitting 6 seconds, that time frame, to be able to think and calm down, or just to take a quick, breath, to just taking a deep breath and taking, breathe in and breathe out. You are able to make informed decisions, even within very split seconds of time. You can decide to keep quiet. Maybe if someone angers you or tries to trigger whatever it is that you don't want to feel, and then you may decide to just, be in your space per time. But at that point, when you find out that the triggers are maybe, people, or, that you may not be able to, do away with, you try as much as possible to find coping mechanisms. I'm not talking about being in abusive relationships, or being in, perpetually abusive, states. No. If you find yourself in those ones, in those kind of situations, then you know that at that time you need to probably cut off for a while, so that you can find how you can, get, the help that you need, and do everything that you need to do. That's another, episode of Mind the Mind entirely. We don't want to go, so deeply into that, issue of abuse. But when you find yourself, asking yourself, what triggered this feeling? Why do I feel the way I feel? And once you are able to, note the trigger, find the coping mechanisms, just try as much as possible to let go of the need to control the emotions. You can't control, everything. Like, you can't control the weather, you can't control, the atmosphere, you can't control so many things. The only thing that is within your power of control, your circle of control per time, is your mind, your thoughts, your words. The things that you can control are majorly the things that flow in your mind. You can control your emotions, yes. All right. And then once you are able to control that, you will find out that it will be easier to control every other, thing around you. So I've already mentioned earlier, the negative and some negative emotions and some positive emotions. Then after you're able to, follow all these steps, make sure you do a proper appraisal, of your emotions. Do a proper appraisal of that phase, the phase where you went through, all that you went through. You rate it, if it's 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star phase, just the way you rate, maybe customer service feedbacks. Rate how you did, rate how you handled, the issues at that time. Just rate yourself. Once you're able to do a proper appraisal, you will know what went wrong, what you did okay, what you did not do okay, and then you'll be able to have that sorted out, so that you don't, fall back into the same situation that you found yourself, before. Once you are able to do your, appraisal and all of that, you find out that the result is that you are more resilient. Because somebody may be asking, why would I even be going through all of that stress? Because I want to handle difficult emotions. It's because at the end of the day, once you have been tried by fire, you have stewed in your own juice, all by yourself. But at the end of the day, it's like turning that, stew, turning that negative stew into a very, very interesting and interestingly and very tasty soup. All right. So, and that is where resilience comes in. You are able to reframe your thinking, clarify your purpose and meaning. You're able to manage your emotions. You're able to, face moderate levels of stress, because we may not be able to eradicate stress, altogether, but you're able to manage and find that harmony. All right, where your stress levels are not, going into overdrive. You're able to, understand where you can even enjoy. By the time you face moderate stress, then you get to that place where the stress levels are low. And then you're able to practice positivity. That's where positive words come in. That's where so many positive effects come in. All right. That's where your affirmations come in. That's where saying what you want to see come in. That's where choosing your friends, choosing the people around that you want around you. That's where it comes in. That's where all the positive, things on how to manage your emotions. That's how they come in. All right. You can also, please, I'd referred to that earlier. Please check out, how to all our past, episodes of, minding the mind in the Mind the Mind series. You'll be able to find the resources helpful. Okay, that's how once you are able to build resilience, it will help you, deepen your level of connectivity with people, your level of connectivity with the world, your level of connectivity with your spirituality, with God. Okay, it will also help you find that balance that you need, because we're not talking about, religion here. We're talking about your essence, your spirituality. That is finding that space, that place of peace with your creator, finding that space of peace with God. And it helps you to connect well, with your spirituality. And then you find out that you are more resilient at the end of the day, once you are able to manage the difficult emotions that come your way. So at the end of the day, it will look like you've gone through fire, just like, in the process of making gold. You've gone through so many things and you're able to come out, shining and more resilience. Okay. All right. So if there are any questions, please feel free to drop them for me in the comment section. And then if you find any other thing that you need to, probably one thing or the other that you need to share, also feel free to share with us, on that page. And you can please like, share, and subscribe also. Thank you very much. It's been an awesome time, out here. We didn't want to make this session a very long one, but if there are any feedbacks, all right, please do feel free to share. And we're very much grateful, for joining us in this episode of Mind in Mind. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. I've also been blessed a lot by even these slides, putting them up and sharing from what has helped me, over time. And thank you very much for all the things, you may need to also, in that very last point, okay, that essence of that, when we talked about connecting with your level of spirituality, connecting with your source, okay, you'll find out that once you're connected, once you're well connected, you find out that gratitude becomes very easy for you to flow in. You're grateful for everything that you see. You're even grateful for that process that you have gone through. So at the end of it all, you find out that you're more resilient, you're more grateful, and then you're more contented. And then you find out that you just live well and you live more happy. Not because you don't have difficult emotions, no, but because you have built that level of resilience to be able to handle the difficult emotions that come your way. Thank you very much. Do join us in the next, episode of Mind the Mind. We'll be posting another video. All right. Please feel free to comment, like, share, and you can also repost. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.